Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu akbar, Wallahu akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Al Hikmah TV. My name is Naima Khan Ghani and I'll be your host for today's segment of Who's Who in America and the Community. This program brings to you individuals who have committed and dedicated their lives to serving Allah. They come from the local, national and international sectors of the community. We hope that their story will serve as an inspiration to you to get involved in your community and make a difference. Today my guest is Sister Karen Shah. She is the member of the Broward Interfaith Council and she's also a very active member of the Darul Uloom Institute in Pembroke Pines. She assists with the Sunday school, the Sunday Islamic Weekend School at Darul Uloom Institute, and she is here to talk a little bit about her experiences and her reversion to Islam. Sister Karen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It certainly is a pleasure to have you. Now, in our program, we like our guests, viewers, to know a little bit about the person that we talk to so they can identify with you, on a more personal level. So give us a little bit of background about who you are, where you're from, where you were born, a little bit about your family history.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me today. It's really a pleasure. I grew up in Indiana, in the Midwest. Never knew a Muslim growing up. So how did I get here?
Yes,
I'm not sure. We'll get into that. I am a stay-at-home mom. I have two beautiful children, teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, alhamdulillah. And I am a proud American Muslim woman. Now.
I like those words, proud American Muslim woman. Very good. Now, tell me a little bit about your educational background. I think you're retired.
Yes, I was a banker.
Okay.
I have a degree, a bachelor's degree in English.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for Citibank for 16 years, and now I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Now comes the million-dollar question. How did you revert to Islam? Because I'm sure viewers want to know, how did you get involved?
I don't think it was a choice. I think I was led to this place.
Divine guidance.
Yes,
huh?
divine
Yes.
guidance.
Okay.
And alhamdulillah, I'm here. I married a Muslim man,
Mm-hmm.
but I converted or reverted because it was the right thing for me to do.
It's a choice that
Okay,
you
it
made,
was
not
my
because of
choice.
marriage or
No,
because of
no,
circumstances.
No, it was
Because
my
that's
choice.
important for our viewers
It
to
is,
know that
it
it's
is.
something that came from within.
Yes, and the more that I learned about Islam, the more sense it made. There was logic to it and beauty to it. Okay, and once I embraced it, I did find peace. And it sounds silly, but it's true. It's true. I did find peace. Now, I grew up in the Catholic tradition, and again, I told you I didn't know any Muslims growing up in Indiana, so I didn't know much about it as an American. So I can understand when Americans now today don't understand Islam. So we'll talk about it later, that I really feel people need to know Muslims. All right? But I was always attracted to the natural world. All right? So I didn't go to church. We didn't go to church every week, but I would go for long hikes, and I would spend time outdoors.
With nature.
With
yes.
nature.
Mm.
All right? So, and I always felt a closeness to God in that environment. Now, when you read the Quran talks about God's signs. Look around you. Look at the birds flying. How do birds fly? All right? Look at the trees, look at the sky, look at the mountains, look at the oceans, look at the flowers, the food, the bounties.
Yeah, all the things we take for granted.
All the things,
yes.
okay? And they're signs from God. And to me, it just solidified what I had known always in my heart, what I had known before. All right? I had always believed in one God and felt comfortable in the natural world. And I would ask everybody, if you could spend some more time outside, do it. You'll feel closer to God.
Peace, yes.
You'll feel closer to God outside. But I'm just so happy now, and I feel the need to be active as a Muslim. Okay, I am a stay-at-home mom, but I can't sit at home I need to be out in the world, and need to interact with people and let non-Muslims know what Islam is all about. I have children. I feel that we all can make a difference in the world, and we must.
Definitely.
We must try.
We do need to. And I'm glad that you say, you know, you're a stay-at-home mom, but that doesn't mean that you are at home.
That's
Literally,
correct.
you are out there every day working with interacting with all different types of people.
I am blessed because I
Yes.
have the time to do it. All
Mashallah.
right. My husband would like to have the time, but he's out working, and thank him for that. And he encourages me to do what I can to go out there.
And that is a blessing, because I'm sure that you have a lot to offer to the community. Before we get into the activities, I know that there are many that you are involved in. Was the transition difficult for you? And I know you don't want to get into the personal aspect of it, but for our viewers, you know, and for our non-Muslims who are maybe interested in Islam, and even for our new Muslims out there, was the transition difficult for you to make from being a non-Muslim slowly? Because you mentioned that you started reading and finding out first before you actually took the Shahada.
Yeah.
How was that transition like for you?
It is a process. It is difficult at times. Family doesn't, non-Muslim family members don't understand. Friends don't always understand. So,
And those are great challenges for you. I mean, your family and your friends. We are fortunate and think as to be born into the religion. We take so much for granted. So many people who, born Muslims, and they take all these things that you have to struggle with now. Our new Muslim brothers and sisters, they take it for granted what they have.
well, we all have a chance to keep learning all the time. Keep learning and enriching ourselves and what we can do, finding out what we can really do in this world for our families and our kids. It was a slow process, all right? I didn't wear hijab all the time in the beginning, so not everyone even knew. You know, not some of my friends didn't
That you were
know.
Muslim,
Right.
right.
They didn't know, and if I wasn't that close to them, then I didn't talk about it. I started wearing hijab after I made Hajj.
That was a milestone.
That
in your
was a
life.
milestone. Okay, making Hajj made such a difference for me. I know that you've done it, so you understand.
Yes.
Seeing all those people of different colors and the different voices and languages and faces all coming together, and it's so emotional and so powerful.
It is.
Okay?
Did that solidify
It
everything
makes
together for you?
And what a
Yeah.
beautiful requirement that Muslims, you know, it makes so much sense that Muslims are supposed to do that, because when you go and you're together with the millions of other Muslims, you feel how powerful God is and how we are connected with people. Okay? So when I came back, I made that intention that I would try to wear hijab, or the veil, not the veil, the headscarf.
Yes.
The headscarf, that I would try to wear it all the time when I go out, and I have, and that has made a difference for me. It has been a challenge, especially in the beginning, but it's also given me wonderful, wonderful opportunities to connect with people and to teach about what it is to be Muslim.
Because wearing the hijab is usually considered to be our jihad, our struggle, and it is a great way of giving silent dawah. You know, you don't have to say a word sometimes, just the way you dress, you can carry about the message. And you mentioned, you know, the Hajj was a milestone in your life. And wearing the hijab is really only the icing on the cake. Because really, you're supposed to internally look at yourself and fix what's inside.
Right.
And then whatever reflects on the outside will just come naturally. And I guess that happened with you when you performed the Hajj. You just flourished.
It did. I felt I came back a different person, a better person, I hope, you know, inshallah. And that I feel I really have like a calling to do what I can to talk to people and connect with
So
people.
you were actually searching
Yes.
for the truth. You were
Yes.
searching for tranquility and peace, even before Islam was even thrown into your mind. Okay,
Yes,
maybe I should become
I think
a
I was
Muslim.
always a
You
seeker.
yeah.
As
Okay.
a high school student, I had a girlfriend that we would, on weekends, we would visit different churches, synagogues, you know.
Right, so you're
different-
adventurous in that
we were
aspect.
seekers,
Yeah,
you know,
good.
spiritual seekers.
Yes.
And I always enjoyed that. I enjoyed learning about different religions. But
So you were able to compare a lot of these religions,
yeah.
you know, Islam with other, Judaism, Christianity, other sect of it.
Yes, and in college I took courses, religious religion courses, and I understand, however, for most Americans, I understand how Americans would feel that Islam is foreign or alien or so different, because I remember feeling that way.
So you were in their shoes. So how can we overcome that? I mean, since you've been on both sides and you know what both sides think and how they feel, especially in this society today with so much that's going on with the media that portrays Islam as so anti-community and anti-social, how do we get beyond that? How, you know, what advice would you give us, or would you give the community out there to get beyond that, to get beyond the myth that's out there?
Well, first of all, Muslims need to know their own religion. All right? All Muslims, we must keep learning and reading, and like you said, don't take for granted what you've known or what you've practiced. We need to be compassionate towards others, towards non-Muslims, and towards other Muslims too. Okay?
To everyone, humanity.
To everybody.
Yeah, because Islam teaches us to be.
We need to learn to be tolerant of everyone. So we need to educate ourselves. We need to portray ourselves. We need to demonstrate good behavior all the time, because people are looking at us.
Right.
People are looking at us. All right.
Especially now.
Especially now. We
yes.
are in the spotlight. So people at work. I mean, we're all interacting, right? You're a teacher. My kids are in public school, so I encourage them to let their friends know. You know, talk about Islam a little bit, so they can go home. The other kids can go home and tell their parents. I know Muslim kids. They're regular. They're regular
not what the
American
media says.
kids.
That's
yeah,
right.
They're not so weird.
I'm not scared of them.
That's so little things, and like going back to the headscarf, to the hijab. I do believe it's a personal choice. I believe it's up to every woman to make up her mind. No one forced me to wear it. It makes me behave. Hopefully it does keep me in check, but it keeps me mindful. It keeps me mindful, because we're talking about our behavior and how everything that we do, we're being looked at. So if I'm driving my car and somebody cuts me off, I control myself.
You exercise that patience
control
that you
myself.
need.
No,
Yes.
but it's all good. It's all good. There's so many opportunities for all of us right now to do the right thing. There's a lot of bad things going on in the world, but there are opportunities for us. I think God wants us. God is testing us as Muslims. What are you going to do? What are we going to do? You know, how are we going to make a difference? How are we going to make changes? We can't sit in a closed room and pretend it's not going on. We need to be able to talk about really important issues. And there are some things that are hard to talk about. So maybe we all need to get together and figure out how we're going to answer these questions. How are we going to talk to non-Muslims about the issues?
And that's very important now, because, you know, it's such a sensitive issue in the community right now, that we do have to be tolerant, like you mentioned, and we have to be sensitive to what's going on out there, to other people's point of view. And Islam does teach tolerance, despite what the media portrays and what some people may think. Islam teaches us to be tolerant, even of other religions, other cultures, other nationalities. It doesn't matter. It teaches us to come together and bear that tolerance. The Prophet was when he captured, the Jews after fighting the wars, he was very tolerant to their needs and sensitive to their requirements at the time. It did not shun them and say,
look at how
exactly.
they all work. They all lived together, the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims in Spain. That was such a beautiful time. Yeah. So we can do it.
It was done before, and it can be done again, but it comes with the training and the development that you're saying that's out there, that's so much lacking in our community now. Yeah. So that's very interesting. We're going to be taking a short break, and we'll be right back and talk more about Sister Karen and her involvement in the Interfaith Council. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Toyota of Hollywood. No matter what your new car needs are, it's our goal to make every step of your ownership experience as easy as possible. Let our professional, trained sales staff help you find the right car at the right price. Discover an easy ownership experience at Toyota of Hollywood today. We're conveniently located at 1841 North 60th Avenue in Hollywood, Florida.
Will you like to have your events broadcasted live? Contact Al Hikmat Productions, a full-service video production for Islamic functions, weddings, seminars, etc. For more details, contact Al Hikmat office 1-800-804-0267. That's 1-800-804-0267. Eat healthy, eat halal at Ashraf's Halal Meat Center for all your East and West Indian grocery for genuine halal USDA meat. Stop in or call in your orders at 305-654-0195. That's 305-654-0195.
Are you tired of calling cards? Are you fed up of those long PIN numbers? Then use Sensible, international direct calling for cents only. For more details, contact the Al Hikmat office at 954-986-0158. That's 954-986-0158.
Estene Caribbean Market, East and West Indian Grocery for all your halal meats, fish, and vegetables. Call to place your order at 954-961-6160. That's 954-961-6160.
Welcome back to Al Hikmat TV. If you're now joining us, my guest today is Sister Karen Shaw, who is a member of the Broward Interfaith Council. We left off as Sister Karen was sharing with us a little bit about her experiences as a revert to Islam. Sister Karen, let's indulge a little bit about the Broward Interfaith Council. How did you become an active member?
I was always interested in interfaith activities, and I got involved through Al Hikmat, Dawah Services, specifically Sheikh Shafayat. He, in the beginning, I would accompany him on some of his lectures that he would, when he would interact with, he would get invited to the synagogues and schools and things. I would go with him to learn how he was talking to people, and that was very emotional for me. There were some cases where I could feel, based on the questions that he was being asked, and at that time I didn't know how to answer the questions. Sometimes I still don't know how to answer all the questions, but I'm trying and I'm learning. But there were times that I thought, oh my goodness, I don't think I can do this. I cried one time.
Wow.
Because I felt inadequate. I felt some hatred, the emotions from other people, and so I know how important it is.
And that must have been really emotional for you,
It was
to feel that animosity, that hatred out there, as you mentioned.
From a person right next to me. Okay, from a person sitting right next to me, another woman.
Zero tolerance.
And I knew I could not avoid it. That I had to step in there and get involved. The Interfaith Council, the Broward Interfaith Council, again, I started going to the meetings, and we have monthly meetings, and we have programs throughout the year. We are involved with many churches and temples and various interfaith groups, trying to educate each other and trying to get all of the community involved to learn about their neighbors.
So this initial experience you had when you went to these meetings, did that motivate you and sort of inspire you to get out there and sort of correct the wrong that you saw that was happening?
Yes, I felt that I needed
to
even though it was scary. And I didn't know, like I said, that time that it happened, that specific time, I did not know how to answer her question. So thank God I wasn't there by myself, and Sheikh Shafayat was there to answer the question. But
because I'm sure it can be brutal and harsh at times, correct?
It is. It can be. But it can also be wonderful and beautiful and just so important. So important. And I think of my kids, too. I think of my children and what kind of world I want for them to inherit.
So I guess you're trying to make sure that you pave the way for the future, you pave the way for other generations and for the young crowd as well, so they can develop that tolerance that is so much lacking in our community today from all sides.
Kids are much more accepting than some of the older
adults.
folks.
Yes, yes,
you know,
yes,
right?
they are.
It's true.
They are.
And we're mothers. Okay, we are moms. We know that we've got to raise our kids the right way and be good examples for our children. That's the other reason. I want to show my kids that how important it is to be out there and be active
and that we
to
can
stand
live
up.
in the society,
Yes.
you know, with all these different
Yes,
religions,
we
and
can.
we can still be successful, and we can shine, and we can flourish, and we can grow.
And I can embarrass
Yeah.
them, and it's great, you
Yeah.
know. But I try to be a good example, and
that's what we can do.
And I make
try our
mistakes,
best.
and try our best and
Yes.
ask for forgiveness, but just try. You know?
And that's the part that a lot of people out there don't seem to understand. They need to try.
Yes.
They need to make the effort. If you fail, that's okay.
Yes.
But you need to make the effort
That's
to,
right.
make an attempt.
Right.
Now, what are some of the other activities that you're involved in with the Interfaith Council? I know you go to the universities and you're involved in lectures, discussions.
I've had some very nice experiences. In March, I went to FIU, and I was fortunate.
Was it a class?
It was a class,
Yeah, okay.
World Religions class, and these college kids were so open to hear, you know,
What
who
are some
I
of the
was
questions that they
and
were asking you out of curiosity?
how did I
Your
come
reversion,
to
right,
Islam? Because
yes.
the professor did not tell them who was
Who
going to
you-
come. So I don't know who they were expecting, but you know, I'm American, and they wanted to hear what
I
they
guess
were
that would be the intriguing
open.
part. You're an
Yeah.
American, Muslim
Right,
American. Now
right,
you're a Muslim
right.
female.
So why,
Yeah.
why would I?
American.
Why would I be here? So that was beautiful. They stayed after class to
So
talk.
they're open and tolerant.
Yes,
the
and
college students.
very,
yes.
very open. So again, young people are going to make the difference in the world for peace and
So do you
and
see this as your
understanding.
calling or your passion, getting out there and sharing your experience with the non-Muslim community?
I do. I hope to be a good example for our Muslim community and to make a difference for non-Muslims. Okay, you want to hear a silly example of things that I do, okay?
Let's hear.
I
I'm
like-
sure viewers will
All
love
right.
to hear that.
Okay.
Get to know who you are.
I told you I like to be outside.
Yes.
And I'm trying to be healthy because I think that's one of the things God wants us to do, is to take care of ourselves.
Of
all right?
course,
We have this
yes.
beautiful gift, this wonderful body, this
Body,
creation that we have, and we have to try to take care of it. So I like to exercise. Well, I can go outside and run in my neighborhood, so I can get my exercise and be outside at the same time. And I look silly sometimes, I know, because I got my big old headscarf on and my long sleeves and my running pants, and
you're
I
jogging.
run
Yeah.
and I jog. And so everybody knows I'm Muslim, right? And I live in, I don't know how many houses are in my neighborhood, but it's 2 miles around. And I make sure that I wave and smile at every car or truck
Yeah.
that goes by, whether I know them or not. I wave and I smile. And that's a little thing, but that's something we're supposed to do, isn't it? It's charity.
It goes a long way.
Let me
yes.
tell you something. When
Smile is
people,
charity,
When
that's
people,
right.
when people smile and wave at me first, because I've kind of got some of the people trained, I don't even know them, but they're waving at me first. You know how happy I am? Because they gave me something, and then I make a little prayer for them. Okay, God
Yeah.
bless them today. Bless them for that. How happy they made me, right? And I've had wonderful experiences connecting with people when other people that are walking and I haven't met them, and they stop to talk and they'll ask me questions about Islam right in the street.
Right.
Okay, so it's a silly thing, and at the same time I get to see the birds flying, making nests. There are hawks and peregrine falcons and things that you wouldn't notice if you're not looking. All right, and so I thank God all the time for opening my heart and my eyes and my mind to the beautiful signs, okay, the beautiful creation. And I thank God for the creation and His creativity in the creation.
yes.
And I ask that God helps me to be useful in the world and uses me to be helpful, okay? And that's what I hope all of us can try to do.
And I think Allah has answered your prayer because He is making you very useful in terms of giving the dawah and giving the message about what Islam really is to our non-Muslims. And you're really a very good example for our Muslim women out there as well, to show them
Well,
that, you know,
inshallah.
you shouldn't be hindered by your
Don't
head
be
covering.
afraid.
You shouldn't be
No,
hindered
don't.
by your name. You shouldn't be hindered by who you are as a Muslim, because it's not
Absolutely.
keeping you back.
No,
It's actually
we have
helping you to
no,
spread your wings
that's
and
right,
go.
That's right.
But we're
that's
scared.
Right. And it can be scary. I understand. I can, there are people who I smile at and they look the other way.
And that's okay,
But
because you
that's
did
okay.
your part.
I did what I
Yes,
was supposed
yes.
to do. They
And
can't
you feel
say
good about it.
that
That's
Muslim
right.
didn't smile. What's
Yeah.
her problem? Okay,
And do
maybe
you know
they'll
you're
think
giving the
about it.
dawah? I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
realize. You're giving the dawah just by smiling
Yes,
at them.
yes.
You are
So-
telling them this is what Islam is,
That's
not what you
right.
see on the TV. That's what the
Yeah,
media
so
portrays.
maybe I make
this
them
is
think
what
about
Islam
it,
is.
and they think, "Oh my goodness, we have a Muslim that lives in our neighborhood. I have a Muslim neighbor,
And I'm not scared.
That's right. That's right. So we can all do it, And I just get so much. I get spiritual and physical meaning, all together at the same time. Spiritual and again, making connections
yes.
with people. I think that's what Muslims need to do. One person at a time. Don't think you have to go and
That's
change the
right.
world all
That's
at
right.
once. We can't.
Just start
We
with one.
can't. One person at a time.
Start with yourself and
Yes,
move on.
yes.
And move on from there, because
and
it
just
starts
try.
with you. It
Just
starts with
just
you.
jump in there and don't be afraid.
And that's a really powerful message for our viewers out there. What else would you like to share with the community in terms of their involvement? How do you think the community can assist with this, giving the dawah to the non-Muslims, our Muslim community? Because I think we're so much lacking in that area. It is something that we really need to develop and focus a little bit more on. So how can the community assist with this project?
Oh, again, first and foremost, one person at a time. Not being afraid to talk to your neighbors, and don't feel you have to go and have a speech or a spiel that you have to give. No, just be a good example in how you live, in how you walk, how you talk, how you smile, how you look at people and connect at people, and be proud of your family, and your kids, and other people would want to know who you are, and look, you're successful, you're happy, you're proud, stand up straight, look at people. That's something,
Yeah, they don't make eye contact.
try to make
They
eye
think
contact with people all the
It
time.
might be a cultural thing
sure,
too, though, yes.
Sure, again, yes,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
But they don't
But
seem
maybe
to-
Americans wouldn't know that that's a cultural
culture.
thing,
Yeah.
and think it's, maybe Muslims are, in fact, I had a non-Muslim friend tell me that she has seen that in Muslim women not looking down, looking
They look
away.
down, and I've also heard, my colleagues at my school would also say, oh, you walk behind the men, the
Yeah.
women in front, and you walk behind, so you're very much subservient to them. So it's all about education.
So
And
we
this
need
is the
we
path
need
you're on.
to educate ourselves. Maybe we need to do some more work in our places of worship, and we can start with the sisters. We can help each other learn and grow, okay, and to recognize opportunities to learn and grow and share and help others.
And that's a very
okay?
good place to start with the women.
Yes.
Because we educate our children, we
That's
educate our
right.
family, we are
That's right.
responsible for our family.
And we can
Great.
help each other. Yeah.
It was a pleasure talking to you, dear Sister
Thank you.
Karen. I'm
Thank
sure
you
that
so
our
much.
viewers really learned a little bit about, a little bit more about who you are as an individual, and I'm sure they would be motivated to get out there and make a difference. Don't sit on that sofa, get up, get out there, make a difference, because your effort can count and would help. So thank you so much for being my guest today. It certainly was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
And that brings us to the end of our program for today. Please join us again next week for another edition of Who's Who in America and Your Community, where you get to meet ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Until then, Assalamu